In this video, we're going to eliminate the parameter in polynomial and radical equations. It says, which of the following correctly gives the Cartesian form of the parametric equations? And they typically give you a list of the equations to check here, but we're just going to go through and solve it, find the equation. We don't need to pick from a list. So it says x of t is equal to root t minus 3, and y of t is equal to negative 5t plus 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and get a function that's Cartesian, which would be y in terms of x. So I'm going to start with my x variable, and I'm going to solve for t here. Now, one thing I want to point out before we even start, t is inside of a radical here. It's inside of a square root. So t has to be greater than 0. Greater than or equal to 0, actually. So it's got to be greater than or equal to 0. So if we have t as 0 here, the smallest, or the x value we would get there would be negative 3. So I'm going to plug in 0 here, and I get negative 3. This is something that's very important that we're going to have to run into later on. So before I start, I just want to say that t has got to be greater than 0, and that it's actually got to be greater than 0, because you can't be just 0. We need to have times that are greater than 0. So we're going to go x of t is equal to root t minus 3. We're going to solve this for t. So I'd have x is equal to root t minus 3. We're going to add 3. So it's x plus 3 is equal to root t. And then I'm going to square each side. So when I square this side and this side, I get x plus 3 squared is equal to t. And then I'm going to substitute that into my y equation here. So I get y with an input of x plus 3 squared, which would equal negative 5 times x plus 3 squared plus 2. So this is y is equal to, let's expand this a little bit, negative 5, x plus 3 times x plus 3 plus 2. We would get y is equal to, let's multiply the x's together. We get x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9 plus 2. When we multiply x times 3, 3 times x, and 3 times 3, that's what we end up with. Let's distribute there. This would be negative 5 x squared. 3 times 3, or not 3 times 3, 3 plus 3 is 6. Multiply it times the negative 5, you get negative 30x. And then minus 45 plus 2. So you end up with y is equal to negative 5x squared minus 30x minus 43. Now, this is our solution, but it's not just this for an answer because of the stuff I said at the beginning. T had to be greater than 0. So this parabola is a downward facing parabola. It's going to look like this, and it's going to have a vertex. And to find the vertex, we're going to go ahead and say that, let's find the x coordinate for the vertex. So we're going to say that to do that, we got negative b over 2a, if you remember from dealing with parabolas. That would be negative 30 over 2 times negative 5. So we'd end up with 30 over negative 10, which is negative 3. So negative 3, our x value for our vertex, so this would be the x value, is negative 3. So if we mark this on the graph, this would be our vertex for our parabola right here. We would need to make sure that we stay just on the right half of the parabola, because if we go on the left half, x would be negative 4, negative 5, which would be where t is less than 0, and we can't have that because we looked up here, and when we plugged 0 in for t, our smallest value that we could get for x was negative 3. So we got to make sure we're on the right half of this parabola. So our answer would be y equals negative 5x squared minus 30x minus 43, but it would be the right half.